Hi, everybody. It's been a little while since I've been able to do a Word for Wednesday, and back home now after our crazy RV adventure, and excited to be back with you, and looking forward to hearing all about the wonderful Sunday worship service that was at the fairgrounds that I wasn't able to be a part of, and excited about this next chapter. But a Word for Wednesday. Today I wanted to talk to you about this idea that has been very much on my mind these last several days. In fact, for about a week now, this has been a thought that's really been kind of sticking in the front of my mind. And that's the idea of blessing someone. Blessing someone. You know, Jesus is our perfect example in so many areas, in all areas, and we see that blessing others was a constant part of his life. Now, specifically what I mean by that is not that you bless somebody by necessarily doing something nice for them, or by giving them a financial help when they need it, or picking somebody up who's fallen. Those are all blessings of a very real, physical, tangible kind of way. But what I'm talking about is speaking a blessing over someone. And what comes what the heart that comes from, and the sentiment that involves. To speak a blessing over someone, to bless someone with our words, is to put into words a heartfelt desire for their well-being, for them to have good come their way, for them to be, well, for lack of a better word, for them to be blessed. And we see Jesus doing this so oftentimes. Jesus blessed little children in Mark chapter 10. We see that he blessed those who were remaining faithful. In Luke chapter 12, he talked about speaking a blessing to those who were remaining faithful. And that same idea kind of extends onward, because he speaks a blessing over those that he looks down the road and says will be faithful. And that is in John chapter 20. He's constantly doing this. He's constantly speaking affirming words of love over others that say to them, you matter to me. You mean so much to me. You're so important to me. Your well-being is of great importance to me and high priority to me. We see so many times Jesus expressing this in his own life, but there are two that I thought were really meaningful, and I wanted to draw your attention to them. In John chapter 17, the last moments before Jesus was going to go up to the Mount of Olives, and was going to be betrayed, and he was going to be tried, and he was going to be crucified. In those last moments that he had before that with his apostles, his closest friends, he talks about this idea of speaking a blessing over them. He demonstrates this idea of speaking a blessing over them. And he does it again the last time he sees them in physical form. Just a few chapters later in the story, we see in Luke's account, it's in Luke chapter 24, that very specifically this idea is there, that before he ascended back to heaven, he blessed them. He spoke words of love over them. He affirmed them. He told them how much that they meant to him, and that how much good he hoped and prayed would come their way. You know, I really think this is a skill and a talent, a Christian attitude and attribute, a practice, even a discipline that our world needs so badly right now. People are just really hurting. And we as Christians have this amazing power, as Christ himself demonstrated to us, to speak a blessing over people and to be a blessing with even the words that we speak. Probably my favorite blessing that's written out in the Bible comes to us from the book of Numbers, and it's one that you'll know, maybe not in this particular translation, as this is the CSB and it rings a little different. But the Lord spoke this to Moses and said, "Tell Aaron and his sons, this is how you are to bless the Israelites. This is what you should say to them. May the Lord bless you, and may the Lord protect you. And may the Lord make his face to shine on you and be gracious to you. And may the Lord look with favor on you and give you peace." That's a blessing that I think has a lot of power for us today. Not that we would necessarily use those words. It's not some kind of a formula. But imagine the power of being able to say to someone, I'm praying that God's blessings will pour into your life today. What you're saying to that person is, you mean a lot to me. And I'm going to hold you up before God, and I'm going to ask blessings to come into your life. Imagine how affirming and comforting that would be for you to hear that. And imagine how powerful that can be for you to speak to others. Church, I don't think we can ever be more like Christ than when we show love. And I don't know of a better way that we can show love, a simpler way, an easier way that we can show love than to speak a word of blessing over someone that we come in contact with. So I challenge you. The word for Wednesday becomes the challenge for Thursday. And I challenge you to find somebody that you can speak a blessing over. And I pray that it'll be something not only beneficial to them, but beneficial to you. We look forward to seeing you real soon, church.